I inherit everything from my dad. My brother basically nothing. Am I the a-hole? In the days before my mother died, my brother and his family came to us for Christmas Eve and left early in the morning of the 25th to spend Christmas lunch with her folks. After my mother's death in 2013, my dad, I looked after him full-time. Me and my son have not seen them again for any family celebration. He and his wife only came once or twice in the year, not to visit, but to sleep over while being here for business and shopping. My dad successfully transferred all his money and car to my name 5 years ago. He always said that I should use the interest from the money to help me out when I retire or buy myself my dream home. Dad passed away this year. His instructions to me were clear, that my brother should get nothing besides his share of the family home. I was to empty his remaining accounts when he died and was made custodian of the accounts. I did not do this, though, as I felt sorry for my brother and felt like a thief. My brother does not know any of this. There is now very little money left in the estate besides the old dilapidated house that needs to go to both of us. It will cost hundreds of thousands to fix it. Probably needs to be scrapped. My brother still thinks he is going to inherit a fortune and is already planning how to spend it. He wants me to take the house and he will take the money. There is not enough money left in the estate for this to happen. Only my brother came to Dad's funeral. His wife and sons apparently could not get off from work. However, he needed to leave straight after the ceremony to drive home to pack his car for a family trip to the coast. I am now very bitter that he and his family could not even set aside this little time for Dad. Am I the a-hole for insisting he gets 50% ownership of the house and keeping quiet about Dad's money? If the house gets sold, we should each still get a small fortune as it is built on prime property. The yard is too big for me to maintain all on my own, and I want to downscale for my retirement next year. Now for the top comments. Give him what your father left him. He doesn't deserve that. Thank you. One side of me says this. The other side makes me feel like a thief. Thief implies you stole it. Your father intended for you to have it and gave it to you. How can you steal something that is yours? If anything, consider it the back pay for everything you did. Your brother did no work. He gets no pay. I never expected anything. I loved my dada. I would give all his money away to just have him back. I know this does not make sense. I guess I still hurt too much to even want to touch the money. I reinvested it for at least another 5 years. Maybe I will come to a point where I will feel different one day. Ask yourself truly, if he was in your situation, would he give you anything? The answer is no, so honor your brother's actions of who he has shown to be. How he treated your father. Honor your father's wishes. If your brother knows he isn't getting anything and tries to repair the relationship, still don't do it. Motivation is screwed. That's what Dad used to say about my brother. Do you think your dad was unfair to your brother? If so, I can understand doing this. It's also okay for you to give this gift to your brother. However, it may not work out like you think. Your brother might not be grateful. Also, I find it interesting. He wants the money, not the property. He's already trying to leave you with the problems to sort. It is definitely a difficult dilemma. It is also okay to give him nothing and say you honor your father's wishes. I already need to sort out everything around the estate, etc. He can apparently not make the 2-hour drive to our city to help. He also cannot allow his wife to sleep alone in their house. So if he does come to help, it is to instruct me to do things like get the money out of Dad's pension annuity, etc. Dad's instructions were clear that the annuity should be split but not paid out, for us to draw an additional pension if we retire. My brother has no love for me. That I know. My mother always told him that I was the reason for all his problems. Next story. Am I the a-hole for kicking out my sister and her family because of her son and husband's entitlement? Me, 23 female, and my sister, 37 female, have always had a rocky relationship. We had our ups and downs, but we always had each other's backs. That's why, when her house had a really bad flood, I offered to let her stay with me and my girlfriend in our house. We had enough space and we talked it through first. So my sister, her husband, and my 13-year-old nephew packed up their things and set up camp in our house. My nephew and I have been fine, but he had this entitlement to him that always got on my nerves. Right off the bat, he tried to claim mine and my girlfriend's shared bedroom, like it was some guest house. I politely told him that he couldn't stay in our bedroom and could stay either in the guest room or our TV room in the basement. He immediately got upset and demanded our room. My brother-in-law tried to mediate the situation, but the whole reason he wanted the room was so he could have the TV for his gaming system. I showed him the TV room in the basement, and he relented and agreed to sleep downstairs. I was sort of relieved, assuming he would spend most of his time down there. It had only been a week before the issues started. Brother-in-law wouldn't clean up after himself. He would fill the sink with dirty dishes, leave his dirty laundry all over the house, and wouldn't clean up the bathroom after he used it. My nephew kept me and my girlfriend up at night with his screaming and yelling at his video games. I brought up these problems to my sister, and she just brushed it off by saying, "They're just used to how things are at home." I told her that I ran things differently, but she wouldn't budge. After another week, girlfriend asked me if the cat had thrown up somewhere downstairs because there was a very sour smell every time she went to do laundry. I looked around everywhere but found nothing, until I realized the smell was coming from my nephew. I almost gagged. He clearly hadn't showered in days. I talked to my sister and she tried the excuse of, "Boys will be boys," but I wasn't having that. I stormed downstairs and told my nephew that he needed to shower ASAP. He threw a fit and started throwing empty soda cans and food containers at me while cursing and insulting me. I brought up the issue to my sister, but all she did was try to gentle parent, which was just him getting his way by cussing out his mother. By the first month, me and girlfriend had finally had enough. During dinner, I brought up the issues that had been happening and how they were affecting me and girlfriend. All three of them brushed it off and claimed that they were too stressed. I bit my tongue, but I was fighting back, jumping across the table at my sister. The first month and a half of living with them was pure hell on earth. What immediately drew the line was overhearing brother-in-law on the phone with his friend. I tried not to listen until I heard him saying the most disrespectful and disgusting things about me and girlfriend. My blood immediately boiled when I heard him say that he thought living with two gay chicks would be much hotter. I snapped and demanded he and my sister pack their things and leave my house immediately. He acted like he hadn't just completely disrespected me in my own home. My sister tried to defend him, saying it was a joke. I refused to hear her out. I told her about her husband and son's disgusting habits and entitlement, and said I refused to deal with it anymore. I gave her 1 day to get all their stuff and leave before I did it myself. She immediately broke down in tears, claiming they had nowhere to go. I told her to get a hotel room, stay at a friend's, or heck, go to our parents' house. Anywhere but here. She called me cruel and heartless, but I didn't care. I couldn't take it anymore. I was exhausted. She called me a bee and went to her guest room. I didn't care. I was just relieved to get them out. They packed their things and left, and my sister hasn't said much to me since. Girlfriend said I did the right thing, but am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. You are a saint for how long you tolerated all that. I'd have tossed them out the moment I got gruff over which bedroom the kid wanted. Seriously, kid, I said no. You're a visitor and you're not getting my room. If I have to repeat myself, you're out. You're all out. I agree. I stopped reading when OP said a month. A whole month of living with imbeciles. When the nephew tried to claim the room, I would have paid for a week at the hotel and that's the end. It's scary that they may still have been torturing OP and her girlfriend had she not heard brother-in-law disparaging her on the phone. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not giving my coworker a ride after she kept assuming I would? I, 28 female, work at an office about 20 minutes from my apartment. I'm pretty quiet at work. Stay in my lane, finish my tasks, go home. A few months ago, a new coworker, Sarah, 31 female, started, and we got along fine. Nothing deep, just normal work friendliness. One day it was raining really hard, and as I was packing up to leave, she asked if I could drop her off at a bus stop a few minutes away. It was on my route, so I said sure, no big deal. The next day, she comes up to my desk at 4:55 p.m. with her bag and goes, "Ready to go?" I was confused and said, "Oh, sorry, I'm staying late today." She gave me a weird look, but said okay and left. From that day on, she started acting like I was her personal ride. She'd wait by the door at the end of the day. She'd text me, "Leaving now?" even though I never told her I drive her regularly. When I didn't offer, she'd get a little cold with me the next morning. Last Thursday, she messaged me at 4:40 saying, "Can you take me to the mall after work?" The mall is 25 minutes in the opposite direction of my home. I told her, "Sorry, that's too far out of my way." She replied, "Wow, okay." The next day, she barely spoke to me and acted like I'd betrayed her. Another coworker even asked me what happened because apparently Sarah told people I promised to help her out and then backed out. I've never promised her anything. I gave her one ride during a storm and was just trying to be nice. I don't mind helping occasionally, but I don't want it to be assumed or expected, especially when it's inconvenient and she never offers gas money or anything. My sister says I was too nice in the beginning and that people like that will always push boundaries. Another friend says maybe I should have just driven her to avoid drama. I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but the tension at work is awkward now. Am I the a-hole for telling my coworker I couldn't keep giving her rides? This will sound like an overreaction, but I promise you it's not. Tell your manager what's happening and that you're considering going to HR because she's starting to tell people a false account of what happened and you don't want a hostile workplace. Now, hopefully your immediate manager will handle the situation themselves. But if they don't, then you've taken the appropriate steps before actually going to HR. And then if she escalates her behavior after reporting to your manager, then all the more reason to take it to HR. It seems small now, but if you allow her to build a false narrative about you now, then she's going to continue to do it in the future. So it needs to be nipped in the bud before it's allowed to get to that point. It's not a small matter when people start attacking your character at work directly to your co-workers. Definitely not the a-hole. She was definitely trying to force you into being her ride by trying to make you feel embarrassed about the whole thing. Came to say this: protect yourself and your job. Do not hesitate to talk to your manager or HR. Not the a-hole. Go to HR and get this shut down. There is a misunderstanding between Sarah and me. She has assumed I would drive her anywhere after work, including places 1 hour round trip out of my way. This has caused office tensions and I want it documented to protect me from any issues. Give them the examples. Good luck. 100% this. If she's spreading lies and generating bad feelings about you to others in the office, it could come up in a review or even a disciplinary action. At that point, you just look defensive. Get it on record ASAP that this is the situation. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not giving individual Christmas gifts to my sister's kids? To start off, my sister and I are not close. Nothing happened. I don't think she's a terrible person. We are just two very, very different people and live very separate lives. We text each other on birthdays and call each other once around the holidays, and that's it. We live thousands of miles away from each other, and it's been about 8 years since I've seen her and her family in person. I don't have kids, while my sister has always dreamed of a huge family, and she got her wish. Between her and her husband, they have 9 kids between the ages of 2 and 16. After my sister and her husband got married and the head count reached over 4, I decided to just start getting something for all the kids to share on Christmas. Some years it's been something for all of them to do. Some years it's been something like a gaming system. I figured it was probably nicer to get one expensive gift that they probably wouldn't have gotten, rather than 9 cheaper ones. My sister's never said anything about it, although I don't know how she really feels about this. A week back, I got a surprise call from my sister. She said money was super tight this year and was wondering if I could get all the kids something they can unwrap individually instead of one big thing. I asked her to send me their Christmas lists to see what that would look like. Most of the kids ask for really expensive electronic items, totaling well over $100 a kid. If I got everyone something from their list, that would come to well over $1,000. I haven't even met some of the kids, and I am not even part of a religion that celebrates Christmas, so I thought that was a ton of cash to drop. I called my sister back and said, "Hey, I appreciate money is tight because, hello, it is." She's raising the next lineup for the Braves. Not that I said that. But I said I'm just not in a position myself to spend over $1,000 on Christmas gifts. My sister got upset and said she just wanted to give the kids all something to open. I said I understood, but unless she was willing to let me know some cheaper options, I wasn't able to spend that much. We went back and forth for a while before she snapped and called me a jerk and hung up. We haven't spoken since. I appreciate the position she's in, but I just can't justify spending that much on Christmas presents. Am I the a-hole? I have to say, if you consider $100 expensive for gifts, I don't get it. It's not cheap, but it's definitely not expensive. To suggest the gift of $10 to $20 is a waste of money, all you get for that is junk and crap that will be tossed aside. Better to send each kid a $20 bill and wrap it up crazy. A mix of bills and coins. If you have been a broke parent at Christmas time, you will try everything so your kids have a good Christmas. Because when they go back to school after the holidays and get asked what they got, socks is a recipe for bullying and teasing. All the adults can be a-holes or have too many kids, but don't take it out on the kids. $100 a gift isn't insane, but when you multiply it times 9, yeah, it's kind of a lot. I don't blame my sister for wanting a nice Christmas for her kids. That's totally reasonable. But I don't think it's reasonable to ask me to spend that much. Not the a-hole. The cynic in me thinks if you buy those gifts, the labels on them are coming off and getting replaced with love from mom and dad. Do a combined gift or get them something like PJs, a book, and a hot chocolate each, or an Amazon voucher each at a value that's affordable, or just nothing. Because the level of entitlement from your sister is gross. She's using you as a gift ATM. The fact you've never got a thanks or a photo of the kids playing with your gifts tells you all you need to know. But if OP gives each kid a sweatshirt with OP's picture and favorite aunt written on them, then sis can't claim it's from her. You are not an a-hole. She sounds as if she is somewhat desperate, and with that many children, that would not be a surprise. She likely assumes that with no children, you are well off financially, and spending $1,000 on her kids would be doable. That is really unreasonable of her. Having said that, do send 9 wrapped gifts, but restrict the cost to what you can afford. Be sure to include a card with each gift specifying that it is from Aunt X and Uncle Y. Yeah, since we don't talk about anything deep, I'm sure she just assumes we aren't struggling. We aren't at the moment, but with the economy, we are playing it safe.